in the first place, right? So basically a lot of my training videos when I was going on like YouTube, like looking how to make, millet beer or sorghum beer, it all pops up like African, like, and like where they're like translating like that native tongue on a YouTube video, and you're like reading the subtitles as you're learning how they're making this beer.
Wow.
So really freaking impressive, like so cool. And it's like one of the videos, like it's modern times, right? Like they're speaking English, but they're using a palm frond to stir the kettle, right? Like I'm just so thoroughly impressed. And it's just really funny because there's a lot of things that your average home brewer gets like uptight about and all this other stuff about like really like anal about all this and that. And it's like, bro, I have watched beer be made with a palm frond. Shut the hell up. You know what I mean? And it's that way it was made for a millennia before your dumbass opinion came into the
Yes.
equation.
People, oh man, the things that people get so upset about, and you're like, did you know that this is thousands of years old and long before there was things like, oh, I don't know, electricity or
Or
common fire on a
antiseptic.
regular basis, like,
Yeah.
yeah, or whatever your fancy brewing equipment that you have, they were doing it on much less than that.
Oh yeah. So yeah, so I mean a lot of who we are as a brand is representative of ancient cultures, A, but B, also like that element where like a lot of people don't realize that most of the females in the new world were brewers. Not
Hmm.
like most of the females, most of the brewers in the new world, like America, were females, right? Like the the initial Salem witch trials were conducted on tavern owners that were female so that they could demonize their livelihood and impose the temperance religious movement that they had, the Puritans,
Right.
right? And so that's where the modern day, like where we call them witches and the whole like Harry Potter vibe whole thing kind of came out. Like they freaking called Joan of Arc a witch, right?
Yeah.
And before they convicted her of heresy, right? They were like, oh well, she's probably a witch because she claims that she talked to God, and we all know that women can't talk to God.
If I know anything, women can't talk to God.
Right? You know what I mean? Like there's just like all these like crazy like throw her into the pond. If she floats, then she's probably a witch. But if she drowns, she's not. Right? You're like, okay. Who's making the logic around here?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think that is really kind of like that core element, right? That we want to pay homage to that history of beer in as much as contribute to its future.
That's amazing.
But yeah. So I mean, it's funny. We only talked about like a couple beers, but like I think that there's a lot of different inspirations that go into kind of what we do. As I mentioned, at the wholesale level, you'll be able to find like our Third Contact IPA, our Particle Haze IPA, our Event Horizon Blonde, Divine Milsner, Divine Light, or our stout, which is more of a lower ABV stout, more of like a drier stout. We call it Mocha Diosa,
Hmm.
which is named after the Mayan goddess of the moon, Ishel, who's basically like responsible for like death, but also like life, like just kind of the circle of life is kind of what Ishel represents. So I think that plays really well in a stout because you can do a lot of stuff with it.
Right. Well, now that we have a little bit more time, I have a segment on the show. I call it the 5 count. It's just 5 random questions. Just answer
Okay.
as quick as possible.
Okay, cool. Let's do it.
If you were on America's Got Talent, what would your talent be?
Making beer.
That's not other than making beer.
Okay.
I should have put that caveat. I'm sorry.
Yeah, right.
I
I
made a book of it. I don't know if you guys have read it or not, but
yeah, if you've read it or not. But no. I grew up like I played sports, but like one of the things that we would do in the off season is actually dance class, right? So like
oh,
uh breakdancing would be kind of fun. Like I'm probably way too old and not as limber as I used to be, but maybe throw out some sort of dance routine or something like that. It's hard to sing and dance, so I maybe like pick a song that I like really know by heart and just sing that maybe. I have been known to bust out some Robert Plant sometimes, so
nothing wrong
maybe
with
I
that.
would go in that direction too.
Love it. If you were a pro wrestler or MMA fighter, what would your name be?
Ooh, okay. Uh, let's see. Bobby Magic. That would be my name.
Ooh, I like that.
Hell yeah.
A little sleight of hand.
Say what?
It's a little sleight of hand on that one too.
That's right. We gotta watch out with that razzle dazzle, baby.
What are you nerding out on right now?
Nerding out on post Civil War San Francisco.
Wow.
There's a show that kind of captivated me, but also like I'm seventh generation Californian. Like my family founded Dublin, California in like the
Oh,
1800s. My great great grandfather Jeremiah Fallon was part of the Donner Party Rescue Party.
whoa.
So
I've
like
been on that route. When I was a
the
kid.
guys that like pulled those suckers out from the throes of cannibalism, that's my great great grandfather.
What a good guy. I
Right.
had
So yeah,
never.
we've got a lot of history in the area of California. So like there's a show that kind of has been covering it, but I've been going off and like after each episode going, wait, did this actually freaking happen?
Right.
Right. And the show actually did a really good job. It's a show on HBO Max called Warrior. So it's
Okay.
like the main character is really this person who's born in China, but whose grandfather is American. So he speaks fluent English and fluent Chinese. And he's there during probably one of the most racist against Asian people times
Yeah.
in America, let alone California.
Hmm.
Um, and the crazy part is to know that I have Irish relatives because, like Jeremiah Fallon, yeah, where did he come from? He came from Kilkenny, Ireland,
Right.
during the first potato famine, right?
Kenny, what a name.
Right. And so, like, I know for a fact that, like, I have relatives that probably served on that police force, which
Yep.
was oftentimes pretty damn bigoted. So, I you just like deal with the echoes of your past, right? And so that there's this really weird like scene where like they go in and they like lynch an Asian guy and they go in and like start burning down the stalls in Chinatown and you're like,
Yep.
did that happen? Like,
Yep.
and then you look online and you're like, holy fuck, that happened. Oh my god.
Not only did that happen, but this, and this happened as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're like, whoa, they were kind of sugarcoating it to make it at least palatable on television,
Uh-huh.
right? Yeah, so like I mean that's kind of one of the things that I've been kind of nerding out on is like we're not that far away from some really awful stuff in our world or our
No.
society,
Yep.
and it's weird to see people out there either brush under the rug or what they like to call whitewash it or all these other different ways, and it's like it's tough, right? Because it's like how do you tell a 4-year-old about that? You know what I mean? Because I've been kind of thinking
Yeah.
about that with a kid on the way. It's like, yeah, how do you expose them to the harshness and the awfulness of the world, but also show them how beautiful and wonderful and magical it really truly can be, you know? And I think that's one of the reasons why I kind of got into beer is that element where it really feels like it's freaking magic, man. Like especially when you're at the
Yeah.
homebrew level and you have a glass carboy, you can see the life take place, the life cycle of a yeast making alcohol. It's one of the most beautiful things in the world, at least to me. And so yeah, it is like magic. It really is. It's a divine science, I like to say.
That's amazing. You, I like the full circle on that one. Yeah,
Yeah.
I always said that beer is the beautiful collaboration of science and art together, and you nailed it there.
Yeah, no, I completely empathize, and yeah, no, I mean, I think that's one of the reasons why it's gotten me into such this sharing space, right? It's like it has brought me such joy,
Hmm.
and every like I don't think I like okay, there's been beers that have like not really hit the mark, or I've missed it, or I didn't hit this or that on my numbers, or the flavor was here or there, but at the end of the day, it's still beer. I had this really great friend in college. He was famous for saying college is vacation, start acting like it. And he was also famous for saying cold pizza is still pizza.
I mean, they're not
And
wrong.
it's
I'm not a fan of cold pizza, but I know there are
I
millions of
get what
people
you're
that
saying,
are.
but
Yeah,
it's that element of every day is a privilege, right? And you're
there you
not
go. Okay,
if you acknowledge that and you truly believe that and live that out, your life is a gift at that point.
it is. I like
So
that thought process, which is
yeah,
a
so it's tough because I mean, dude, shit can bring you down, man. You need that simplicity. You need that foundation that you can come back to, and always like I just watched this scene from a Mister Rogers episode, and it was so powerful, and it was just so simple. Right? He's like, you know, I hope that each one of you, as you go out into the world, that you'll always keep a part of you that you can look into and love, because that's what the world needs is your reflection of your love for yourself coming out onto other people. And I was like, holy shit, this was on public television. My God,
This man's a
my
prophet.
God,
What is
that's
he
so
doing?
beautiful. He's like literally, yeah, he was a modern day prophet. Like I'm literally moved saying those words. That's how powerful it is.
That leads us perfectly into our next question. Who or what
Hell yeah.
inspires you?
I mean, a lot more nowadays that I got a kid on the way.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that there is this element, that there is this unquenchable fire inside of me that I need to, this obsession. I need to help people have their life back, and even if it's just one pint at a time, right? Because I know that exact feeling, like the world's been taken away from you, you
Mhm.
know, and that everything you know is a lie, right? Like it's wild, right? Like because it is so pivotal. It's such a huge part, because I was raised Catholic, as I mentioned maybe before once or twice.
Mhm.
But give us a day that our daily bread is something you say at almost every single gathering that you get to with other people, other Catholic people, right? If you pray the Lord's Prayer, right? And so um, when I was growing up, we would always say the Lord's Prayer, or not, like, we had a version of it, like the give us this day, we give you thanks for all thy blessings, all that stuff, right? We'd say before and after the meal, right? Like we were good Catholics, right? Or tried to be. We always knew that the priest couldn't see around the corner, so we're doing our best here. Um, but yeah, there is that element. It is community. You know what I mean? We call it breaking bread for a gosh darn reason, right? And
Mhm.
it's about having people that chance to do that, whether it be liquid bread or solid bread. But that's kind of our mission, right? That's my personal mission, which I feel like really emanates out and touches our staff. It touches my partner. It touches the future partners that we have when they learn of that mission that we have, that enemy, if you will, that we're fighting. Is that feeling of like, yeah, I've been completely left out. The world's left me behind. It's ostracized me. And I'm here to tell you, brother, that it's not. Like, we're here for you, and we're just trying to get as close to you as we can and get you a beer, right?
Mhm.
Because we all deserve, to have that beer handed out to us, instead of going, oh no, I can't. It's like a no, no, here, this is a beer you can have, right? We actually are probably the biggest fans of the compassionate wheat eaters, as we like to call them, right? The people that are like, no, wait, no, Jimmy shouldn't be left out of the circle. He should have a beer too. You know what I mean? Like those are the true saints in this game, right? Like my friend who's like, no, there's a way we can make gluten-free beer, dude. Don't give up on life. I want you to have a beer. You're gonna have beer with us. I promise you, you're gonna have a beer with us, right? That's true love. That's true friendship,
It's true. Yeah, always accepting and allowing everyone in your circle.
and that's beauty right there.
Exactly. Now, what would you tell your 17-year-old self?
I would say give up gluten now. Don't waste the next 5 years of your life. You can play professional sports.
You can be the first gluten-free professional athlete.
Do it before Tom Brady does it. I promise you, it's going to pay off dividends.
He's only going to win 6. You're going to win so many more.
Exactly. Oh my God, the things I could have done without having like swollen knees every freaking day when I was a teenager. Holy shit.
Yeah. Oh, I imagine that the before and after is probably so much more drastic than people can imagine. And like, obviously you're on the better side of it and realizing, oh crap, I should have started way sooner. But again, you didn't
Yeah.
know, and so now you're here on the other side, and you're good to go.
Well, it's yeah, like when I went gluten free at 22, right, when you got the metabolism of a tiger, right? Like,
Yeah,
it was
tiger
like
blood on.
somebody had like pricked my thumb and like just let like a good inch of air out from around my body. Like, I immediately was able to do like, to cut. I got like back to my like 18-year-old when I was doing like 3 water polo practices a day, 6 pack, like within a
Jeez.
month. You're like, whoa, 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 whoa! I haven't even really like turned on the jets to try to get back in shape. I'm just working out like I regularly do. What's this?
Yep.
So, I mean, results may vary. We have a big saying in the gluten free community: your mileage may vary. And it's very true, right? Like, depending on when you come into this disease, like, or realize that you have it, essentially, um, yeah, you could be at any varying stage of life, right? Like, I have some pretty good friends that are brewers that have never had craft beer, at least like the average American craft beer. They've just not had it because they're gluten intolerant. They're celiac. They had to give that up when they were 12,
Oh.
right? Like I at least didn't really develop like noticeable bad signs until I really got more into things like craft beer. You know, good or bad as it may be, I think I